Imagine a country where every curve of the road reveals a postcard, where mountains rise like stone cathedrals, lakes shine like crystal mirrors, and the air feels purified by time itself. This country exists, and its name is Switzerland. Switzerland is not just a destination. It is a meeting of nature and perfection, a land where the silence of the mountains speaks louder than any words. Here, winter brings sparkling snow, summer paints the fields with flowers, and every season turns the landscape into a new masterpiece. Get ready. This journey will take you through landscapes so impressive they feel like a dream. You will feel the gentle cold of the Alpine wind on your face. You will hear the crystal clear sound of waterfalls plunging from deep valleys. You will walk along trails where the scent of fresh pine mingles with the sweet aroma of wildflowers. And above all, you will discover that true beauty does not need to be invented. It is already here, waiting to be contemplated. And to begin this journey, nothing could be better than the most famous guardian of the Alps, a mountain that is symbol, legend, and challenge, the mighty Matterhorn. The Matterhorn is not just a mountain. It is a symbol of Switzerland, a stone pyramid that defies the sky and has become one of the most photographed peaks on the planet. Its solitary, majestic presence dominates the horizon and has inspired travelers for centuries. As you approach the region of Zermatt, the Matterhorn appears like a perfect painting. Its triangular summit rises sharply, covered with eternal snow that glistens in the sun. The air is cold and pure, broken only by the sound of cowbells echoing through alpine meadows. Trails wind through green fields dotted with colorful flowers. The scent of fresh pine mingles with the earthy perfume of melting snow. At every turn, the stone giant reveals a new angle, each more striking than the last. In Zermatt, a car-free village, the atmosphere is calm and welcoming. Dark wooden chalets with flowered balconies stand against the imposing backdrop of the mountain. At night, the stars seem to lean over the Matterhorn, turning it into a magical silhouette against the deep sky. In winter, the slopes come alive with skiers. The swish of skis across snow mixes with the distant laughter of travelers. In summer, the landscape transforms into a paradise for hikers, cyclists, and adventurers seeking to lose and find themselves among the valleys. Standing before the Matterhorn is to feel the weight of eternity. It is to realize that before nature, we are small, yet part of something grand. And if the Matterhorn is the power of the mountain, our next destination reveals the softness of water. We now travel to Lake Geneva, where nature meets music and poetry in Montreux. On the shores of Lake Geneva, nature and culture meet in perfect harmony. Here, calm waters reflect the Alps, and towns like Montreux turn the landscape into poetry. It is a place where life flows gently, carried by music, wine, and natural beauty. Lake Geneva stretches like a deep blue mirror, surrounded by mountains that seem to dive into the horizon. Walking along its shore, the fresh breeze carries the scent of ripe grapes from the Lavaux Vineyards, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The sound of gentle waves mingles with the distant song of birds, creating a natural melody that soothes the soul. Montreux is the vibrant heart of this landscape. Its flower-lined streets open onto a lakeside promenade where palm trees sway softly in the wind, an unexpected contrast with the snowy peaks in the background. The air carries echoes of music. After all, Montreux is famous for its jazz festival, which has welcomed immortal legends of song. On a boat crossing the lake, the water's reflections turn the scene into a living painting. Chillon Castle rises at the water's edge, a medieval fortress that seems to float above the lake. Every stone holds centuries of history, prisons, battles, and poems that inspired writers like Lord Byron. At sunset, the sky turns gold and violet. City lights flicker, reflecting on the lake like liquid stars. And sitting in a cafe by the water, with a glass of local wine in hand, you realize that Switzerland can also be warm and poetic. If Lake Geneva is the gentleness of water, our next destination is the strength of heights. We now head to Interlaken, where the Bernese Alps rise like walls against the sky.
Between two crystal-clear lakes and beneath the shadow of Switzerland's highest peaks lies Interlaken. This is the gateway to the Bernese Alps, a land where nature displays its full power and beauty. Here, every valley, every trail, every summit seems to invite the traveler to go beyond the horizon. The deep blue of Lakes Thun and Brienz surrounds the town like two liquid mirrors. The wind carries the freshness of the water, while boats glide slowly across the calm surface. In the distance, the majestic trio, Eiger, Mönch, and Jungfrau, rise like stone guardians, their snowy faces shining in the sun. The trails from Interlaken lead to dreamlike landscapes. Green fields dotted with Alpine flowers stretch as far as the eye can see. The sound of cowbells echoes through the valleys, while meltwater streams cascade in sparkling waterfalls. At the top of Jungfraujoch, known as the top of Europe, the thin air brings a unique sensation. The ice extends to the horizon, and ice caves reveal shapes carved by nature over centuries. Here, silence is so profound that every breath feels like a discovery. In winter, skiers dominate the slopes. The swift glide on snow contrasts with the muffled sound of falling flakes. In summer, hiking and biking trails reveal hidden villages, where wooden chalets welcome visitors with flowers in the windows and the aroma of fresh bread. Interlaken is not just a point on the map, it is an invitation to adventure, contemplation, and communion with the essence of the Alps. And if Interlaken is the gateway, Lauterbrunnen is the secret heart of the Bernese Alps. Our next destination is a magical valley where waterfalls tumble like silver veils between vertical cliffs.
Imagine a valley so deep it seems carved by the gods. Lauterbrunnen is exactly that, a natural sanctuary hidden between vertical cliffs
where waterfalls fall like silver veils from the sky. It is one of the most poetic and surreal places in Switzerland. The valley stretches like a green corridor, framed by sheer rock walls that rise almost vertically. From above, more than 70 waterfalls cascade in spectacular drops. Staubbach, the most famous, falls in a silver thread that dances with the wind before touching the ground. The sound of water dominates the landscape. It is a soft, constant roar, mingling with birdsong and the rustle of trees. The air is fresh and moist, filled with the scent of wet earth. The trails through the valley lead to enchanting villages. Wooden chalets with flowered balconies look as if they were taken from a fairy tale. The smell of freshly baked bread drifts from small bakeries, and locals welcome visitors with warm smiles. In the distance, the snowy peaks of Eiger, Mönch, and Jungfrau frame the view, as if guarding this secret valley. And at sunset, golden light transforms the waterfalls into threads of liquid fire. If Lauterbrunnen is the valley of water veils, our next destination is the mountain that became a global icon. We now head to Zermatt, at the foot of the legendary Matterhorn.
If there were one mountain to symbolize the grandeur of the Alps, it would be the Matterhorn. Its perfect pyramidal shape, imposing and unmistakable, has become a global icon. And at its foot lies Zermatt, a charming village where Alpine tradition meets modern adventure. Arriving in Zermatt, the first impact is the absence of cars. The village is silent, traversed only by carriages, bicycles, and small electric vehicles. The air is pure, scented with wood and the freshness of the mountains. The Matterhorn rises in the background, its sharp peak tutting the sky. At sunrise, its face glows golden and orange as if made of fire. At sunset, it becomes a majestic silhouette against a violet horizon. The trails around lead to dreamlike scenery. Alpine lakes reflect the mountain like perfect mirrors, creating images so beautiful they seem unreal. The sound is of footsteps on the earth and the cold wind sweeping between the rocks. In winter, Zermatt is covered in snow and comes alive with skiers. The slopes glide gently down the mountainsides, and illuminated chalets offer fireplaces and fondues that warm both body and soul. In summer, flowered trails lead to remote cabins where the silence is broken only by the distant ringing of bells. Zermatt is more than a tourist destination. It is a place where the strength of the mountain meets the delicacy of alpine life. And the Matterhorn, towering above, reminds us that nature can create eternal masterpieces. But Switzerland is not made only of solitary mountains. Our next destination shows how cities and lakes can hold equally breathtaking beauty. Lucerne and Lake Lucerne.
Lucerne proves that Switzerland's beauty is not found only in its mountains. Here, tradition and modernity meet on the shores of a lake that mirrors the sky. Lake Lucerne holds centuries of history and landscapes that enchant in every direction. The heart of Lucerne beats on the Kapellbrücke, the oldest covered wooden bridge in Europe. Crossing it, the sound of wood beneath your feet blends with the murmur of the Reuss River. Red flowers line its edges, reflecting in the water like vivid brushstrokes. In the old town, cobblestone streets lead to colorful squares surrounded by houses painted with Renaissance frescoes. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee drifts from patisseries, while street musicians create improvised soundtracks. Every corner seems to hold a secret. Lake Lucerne stretches in unexpected curves, framed by mountains that change color with the light of the day. Boats glide smoothly, and the reflection of clouds turns the surface into a canvas in constant motion. From the top of Mount Pilatus or Rigi, the view is breathtaking. The lake opens like a living map, dotted with villages and forests. At sunset, the horizon glows in golden and violet tones. The waters grow still, mirroring the last rays of the sun. Lucerne, illuminated, shines like a jewel placed between mountains and lake. Lucerne is balance between past and present, between city and nature, between movement and contemplation. A place that shows Switzerland is also made of delicacy. If Lucerne is a meeting of history and serenity, our next destination is pure Alpine sophistication.
We now head to the Engadine region and St. Moritz, where luxury and nature meet in a unique setting.
Engadine is the portrait of Alpine sophistication, a valley where Swiss traditions coexist with the discreet luxury of one of the world's most exclusive destinations, St. Moritz. Here, nature and elegance walk side by side. Entering the valley, the first impact is the vastness. Snow-covered mountains embrace villages that look like they belong on postcards. The air is crystalline, dry, filled with freshness, as if every breath were a renewal. St. Moritz shines as an icon. Its elegant streets house luxury boutiques, historic hotels, and cafes where time seems to slow down. But lifting your eyes is enough to remember that, above all, nature is the true protagonist. The region's lakes mirror the mountains in shades of blue and green. In winter, their frozen surfaces host horse races and polo tournaments on ice. In summer, canoes and sailboats glide gently, while the wind carries the scent of nearby forests. Engadine's trails are an invitation to contemplation. Among pines and flowering meadows, the silence is broken only by the sound of cowbells and the wind in the treetops. Every turn reveals a new scene, always more impressive than the last. St. Moritz is luxury, yes, but also authenticity. It is a place where Alpine traditions endure, from cuisine rich in cheese and smoked meats to festivals celebrating local culture. And it is also a refuge where nature's grandeur meets human comfort in perfect harmony. From the refined luxury of St. Moritz, we head to the heart of Alpine adventure, Our next destination is Interlaken and the majestic Jungfraujoch region, known as the top of Europe.
Interlaken is the beating heart of adventure in Switzerland. Between two turquoise lakes and surrounded by the Alps, the town is the gateway to one of the most breathtaking destinations in the world, Jungfraujoch, the top of Europe. Arriving in Interlaken, the gaze is lost between Lake Thun and Lake Brienz. The waters shimmer in shades of blue and green, while snow-capped mountains rise in the distance like imposing guardians. The air is fresh, carrying the scent of pines and the distant sound of cowbells. The journey to Jungfraujoch is an experience in itself. The train climbs slowly, crossing tunnels carved into the rock and revealing ever more grandiose panoramas. When you finally reach the highest railway station in Europe at 3,454 meters above sea level, it feels as if you are touching the sky. Eternal ice stretches in every direction. The wind blows cold but invigorating, a reminder of nature's immensity and untamed power. The Aletsch Glacier, the largest in the Alps, unfolds like an endless white river, winding between jagged peaks. Inside the complex, ice tunnels shine in bluish tones. Frozen sculptures seem eternal, and every step echoes as if inside a natural cathedral. From the Sphinx Observatory, the horizon opens in 360 degrees. Snow, rocks, and sky in perfect harmony. Interlaken and Jungfraujoch are adventure and contemplation, strength and silence. A place that reminds us of the grandeur of Earth and how small we are before it. If Interlaken is the heart of adventure, our next destination is the ultimate icon of the Alps. We now head to Zermatt, at the foot of the world's most photographed mountain, the Matterhorn.
Few mountains in the world carry as much mystique as the Matterhorn. With its perfect triangular shape, it rises like a natural monument, dominating Zermatt, the Alpine village that lives in its shadow and under its splendor. Arriving in Zermatt means stepping into a refuge where cars do not circulate. The streets are walked on foot or traversed by small electric vehicles, preserving the silence that allows you to hear footsteps on the snow and the distant chime of cowbells. The Matterhorn dominates the horizon with an almost sacred majesty. Its snow-covered peaks shine under the sun, glowing golden at sunrise and deep red at sunset. It is a presence that changes with the light, but never loses its grandeur. The trails departing from Zermatt lead to breathtaking landscapes. Crystal clear alpine lakes reflect the mountain like perfect mirrors, creating images that look like paintings. Each turn reveals flower-filled meadows, wooden chalets, and glaciers slowly descending along the slopes. The cable car takes travelers up to the Gornergrat viewpoint.
From there, the view is unforgettable. The Matterhorn and more than 20 peaks over 4,000 meters align on the horizon. The air is cold and thin, yet pure, bringing a sense of fulfillment. At night, Zermatt takes on a cozy atmosphere. Restaurants serve fondue and raclette, while fireplaces warm wooden halls. Outside, the silence of the snow covers the village like a cloak, and the starry sky completes the scene. Zermatt and the Matterhorn are a reminder of nature's indomitable power, a meeting between challenge, contemplation, and absolute beauty. And after the grandeur of the Alps, we descend toward the south of Switzerland. Our next destination is Lugano and the Ticino region, where the Mediterranean climate meets the Alpine soul.
In the far south of Switzerland, Ticino reveals a different face of the country. Here, palm trees share space with Alpine mountains, and the pace of life blends Swiss precision with Mediterranean ease. Lugano is the heart of this fusion, where nature and culture meet in perfect harmony. Lake Lugano shines like a blue mirror, surrounded by green hills and peaks that seem to protect the landscape. The shores invite peaceful walks, colorful flowers perfume the air, while cafes and gelaterias fill the squares with cheerful voices. The sound of gentle waves mixes with children's laughter and the music of street performers. The streets of the center reveal a strong Italian heritage. Elegant squares, Baroque churches, and lively markets create a warm and welcoming atmosphere. The aroma of pizza baking in stone ovens mingles with the sweet scent of gelato, reminding us that here, life is savored slowly.
In just a few minutes of travel, the landscapes change dramatically. The valleys of Ticino hide medieval villages, crystal-clear waterfalls, and trails leading to snow-covered mountains. It is a region where the Mediterranean meets the Alps, creating a rare and fascinating duality. At sunset, the sun slowly dips behind the mountains, painting the sky in gold and pink. The city lights turn on, reflecting on the lake like a necklace of liquid stars. It is a perfect ending to a journey through Switzerland, a country that in every corner reveals a different kind of beauty. From the icy heights of the mountains to the tranquil lakes, from historic cities to hidden villages, Switzerland has proven to be a land of contrasts and harmony. Each landscape was more than a view, it was an invitation to feel, contemplate, and remember. Because traveling through Switzerland is discovering that beauty lies in every detail. And that each moment lived here remains as an eternal memory.